The leaking windscreen situation. What was wrong with it? And how did we fix it? I recently uploaded a video about a water leak on my Smart, and I traced this back to the windscreen, which had recently been fitted by Autoglass. Now this leak had caused the carpet down here to become saturated, mainly underneath in the soundproofing, and I had traced this water leak to be coming in this corner here, the right hand lower corner of the windscreen, and it was running down behind the dashboard. So I had contacted Autoglass, who had said that they'd get back to me within 48 hours in order to process a warranty claim for the leaking windscreen. And true to their word, they did get back to me. They were slightly late, they were a few hours late. It was just outside of the 48-hour window, but I wasn't going to split hairs over a few hours. So just a few days later, the Autoglass technician attended my house with a windscreen on board in case he broke the old one, and proceeded to resolve the problem. He cut the windscreen out and we had a look at the bonding together, and we both came to the same conclusion, that it was the top corner that was leaking. Now, just as I'd expected, the technician at Autoglass didn't want to be filmed carrying out the work, and to be fair, I wouldn't want to be filmed in my day-to-day job, so I can't blame him for that. But he did let me take a few pictures, and I can explain exactly what he found when he took the old glass out. The bonding had failed in this area here, and it was essentially running down and at the lowest point there, entering the vehicle, and then dribbling down and ultimately finding its way to the carpet via gravity. In any water leak situation, the water will always find the lowest point. So the new glass was bonded back in. He did a neat job. And as you'll see from these pictures here, this is how it looked when it had been cut out of the car. Now incidentally, when this scuttle was off the car, I identified a potential water ingress issue on these cars, as I encountered a design under here that I simply did not know existed, as I've had not taken one of these off before. As you'll see from this picture, water is meant to pass through these small louvers here, and it then passes down a channel here and then drains off through like a gully, which then finds its way into the heater intake box, as you'll see in this picture with the arrows, and it should then drain out of this intake box at the bottom via a one-way valve. Again, you can see in this picture here this component when it's off the car, and the one-way valve as highlighted by the arrow. Now that little one-way valve that lives right under here, you can't access it very easily. If that becomes blocked, it will cause it to fill up with water in here, and it will spill over into the heater air intake, and it will find its way into the car. So this is certainly something to consider. And when this was all off, I was able to reach down and just clear out a little bit of sediment. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't full of leaves or anything. It was just a little bit of sediment. But I can imagine over time, or on a car that has spent a lot of time in an area where there are a lot of leaves, stuff could get through here. Now fortunately, the design of this and the fact that the little vents here are very small means that large leaves and things can't actually get in there and build up. So it is just sort of a mud-like silt that builds up. But if your vehicle is in a particularly wooded area, or it's stored under trees, pine needles and things could get through there and could ultimately find their way in here. These openings here, where the wipers protrude, incidentally do have a closing panel across here, so things can't get in there and then pass that way. So this is certainly an area to consider if you do have a water leak on a car and you can't identify it any other way and you feel it may be coming in through the heater. it's definitely something that can block, and it's definitely something that could be a problem. So I'm now going to fully water test this windscreen to ensure that it's bonded well and that it's fully watertight. I quite like getting my hose out. I might even clean my filthy Audi after this. But for now it's time to water test this car. Make no mistake, this car is getting a serious amount of water. That panel is overflowing. To be sure that it's definitely dry, I've removed the pillar trim on the offside and everything looks fine, no leakage, and the same on the near side too. Final check underneath confirms there is no water leaking, and the same on the passenger side. This car has really taken a lot of water over the screen and the roof. Well, I'm very pleased to say that after much water testing, there is no water entering this vehicle, and I've really doused it. So hopefully this is chapter closed on the windscreen. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you again in another video very soon.